1 in 3 children in Australia will suffer from eczema, and their risk increases to 50% if one parent is affected and up to 80% if both parents are affected.
My youngest little one has eczema and has really struggled with it. And as a parent, I haven't known how best to manage it.
At night time, if they're really itchy, it can keep them awake and result in poor sleep, which of course results in failure to thrive.
What's your one piece of advice for families suffering from eczema?
My biggest piece of advice is...
Hi, we're Freya and Christy from Parents You've Got This. We're so excited today. We are here to talk all about eczema with Dr. Alice Rudd. Now, Dr. Alice Rudd is a leading Melbourne-based dermatologist who works in both private and public practice. She has 2 clinics. She is a mama herself and she knows firsthand just how difficult and challenging eczema can be. Alice, thank you so much for chatting with us about this today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just kick it off and talk about eczema as it's a whole. What is eczema?
It is a chronic condition where there is a disruption in the skin barrier that makes it less able to retain moisture and more reactive to environmental triggers.
So what does this look like, eczema-prone skin?
So eczema-prone skin in a baby can look like redness or erythema in the elbow or the knee creases. It can look like a bit of cradle cap, and it can look like dry skin.
I know, it's so hard to see them with that little dry skin, isn't it, on their little delicate skin. Is it something that's hereditary?
Definitely. So we know that 1 in 3 children in Australia will suffer from eczema, and their risk increases to 50% if one parent is affected and up to 80% if both parents are affected.
Oh, wow. Mine are going to have eczema.
And so how can you first pick it up in your little one? Because obviously we don't want our little people to be suffering. How can we first sort of not diagnose it because we're not experts, but how can we first sort of see it coming and, know that we should be doing something about it?
Well, I first noticed it in Charlotte when she was tiny, where in all the folds, you know how they have those gorgeous bum folds and all those big wrinkles, all the creases. So one of the early signs is just redness in those creases. It may not necessarily be itchy or dry and bothering them, and often their skin hasn't fully developed at that age, so it doesn't look like traditional dry skin, but you certainly might notice some redness in there and some scaliness on the scalp.
And so is it contagious if you touch it?
It's not contagious. It's a genetic condition that's inherent in the person, so you can't really touch it and get eczema yourself, and it's not related to things like poor hygiene or lack of self-care.
So that makes us feel better, less guilty as parents, because there's nothing worse than seeing something on your little one. What advice do you have for parents who might be needing to manage eczema?
Management is very simple. It's avoiding any over-cleansing, over-washing and excessive amounts of fragrance. And an easy start is replacing soaps in the bath. So using a non-soap alternative, like a gel or a cream cleanser, can actually make a big difference.
And is it something, Alice, that you grow out of, or once you've got the condition, you've got it for life?
So most children will grow out of it by the age of 2, but there are some cases where it persists into adulthood.
Alice, my youngest little one has eczema and has really struggled with it. And as a parent, I haven't known how best to manage it. What top tips do you have for parents who are looking to help to manage eczema in their little ones?
Eczema-prone skin has an impaired barrier, so it's really important to repair that barrier and to nourish it.
And so then when you're choosing a product for your little one, there's so many ingredients. How do you find one that's right?
We always want to look for fragrance-free, soap-free and ingredients that can help support the natural moisturising factors and the barrier in the skin, such as lipids and natural moisturising factors.
So when we're looking at the whole family, Alice, because like you've said, often, parents and children both have it, what sort of is the ideal skincare routine for eczema sufferers?
So we absolutely have to have no soap in the shower or the bath, so we need to use a soap substitute. And we need to moisturise every day so that we can help replenish the moisture in the skin that it's naturally lacking because of the eczema.
And just on that, if you're moisturising the skin, do you recommend that you do that immediately after the bath, or is there a timing around that? Is it best in the morning or the night? How should families sort of structure that into their routine?
Anytime they can do it is a good time. So I tend not to make it too complicated because I want people to do it. But ideally, after you've been in a warm bath or shower, the skin is a little bit more receptive to the moisturiser at that point. So that would be the ideal time.
And my little boys love this. I always find when they've got eczema, they really just don't sleep. And it's so hard because they're up scratching all night. And this is the perfect way. Just before they go to bed, they have their bath, and then I get their little feet and I rub it in, and I rub it in between their really dry hands. My little one gets eczema really badly gently on his hands, and he loves it. He's like, where's my hand massage? And I, get my Mustela and I rub it in, and it really helps with that. So when you go, to the pharmacy or you're trying to look for a product for your little one to help with their eczema, there's so many on the market. It's hard to pick a great one. Are there things that you should be avoiding when you're choosing the perfect product?
So you absolutely want to go for soap-free and fragrance-free. So if you're seeing soap or fragrance as the top 3 ingredients on the ingredient list, that should be avoided. And you want to avoid anything with a lot of extra additives that can potentially irritate the skin.
So Alice, do you have any other tips for eczema-prone families to help them to simplify their routine? They've got bathing sorted, they've got moisturising happening. What else can they do?
You've absolutely hit the nail on the head. It needs to be simple so that we consistently do it. And that's the key, really. It's consistency over time. So consistently using a soap substitute. And if you just have one product in the shower and the bath that everyone can use, it makes it very simple.
Yeah, and that's what I love about Mustela. You can have one product for the whole family. You don't have to have all of these different products for all different things. I think, simple makes it easy, doesn't it?
Definitely.
I love the Mustela products, and my kids and I all use them. One ingredient that I see is the sunflower oil distillate. What can you tell us about that?
So sunflower oil distillate is definitely an ingredient that is worth knowing about, because what it does in the skin is it helps replace filaggrin, which is a natural binding factor in the skin that is missing in people who are eczema prone.
This is the product that I use for my entire family. I love that everyone can use it, right from the dad down to the little tiny toes. It's Mustela Stellatopia Plus. I noticed there that you said that it's got sunflower oil distillate in it, but it also has prebiotics. How do they help with eczema?
Such a great question. So we know that eczema-prone skin has an impaired barrier and therefore a disordered microbiome. So adding a prebiotic in with your moisturiser can actually help calibrate and normalise that skin's microbiome.
So this cream really is pretty magical because you only need a small amount. It's absorbed super easily. So little wriggly ones, you can massage them on the fly. It really is, the one product that every family with eczema needs.
So it was really important that I chose something for my family that was clinically proven. I really love that it helps with that dry, sore skin, but it also helps with sleep, doesn't it, Alice? Can you talk to me about how having a great moisturiser helps with sleep with eczema?
So we know that when the skin barrier is impaired, that irritants get in and the skin can often be very itchy, and especially in children at night time, if they're really itchy, it can keep them awake and result in poor sleep, which of course results in failure to thrive, where they don't put on weight as they should, they're not sort of developing and getting to their goals as they should. So it's really important that you repair that barrier, particularly at night, so they can get adequate sleep for their development.
It's one of those things too where I think when you can actually help your little one and provide immediate soothing relief that is lasting, that just has such a big impact on the whole family, doesn't it? Then everyone sleeps better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Bath time is my favourite time of the day with the kids, where you actually just slow down and stop and reset. We've been pairing our Stellatopia moisturiser with the Stellatopia cleansing oil. That's the one. It's amazing because you can use it direct on the skin, but you can also just add a couple of drops to the bath.
And so how would be using something like an oil be different to using a soap, Alice?
So soaps are definitely a no-go in eczema-prone skin because the way that they work is via a surfactant effect, which basically removes all the natural oils in your skin. It's why you have that sort of tight, dry feeling and you feel really clean after using a soap, but all you've actually done is remove all the oils in the skin. So if you can use an oil-based cleanser, that actually helps replenish those natural lipids within the skin.
So we've got our bath time routine sorted, but when it comes to the morning and everyone's in a bit of a rush, it's actually the Mustela Stellatopia face moisturiser that is the go-to in our household for me and for the kids. So much easier than moisturising everyone's whole bodies on the way out the door, and it works a treat for us.
So Alice, what's your one piece of advice for families suffering from eczema?
My biggest piece of advice is make a routine that you can all do and stick to. So make it very simple and absolutely avoid any soap-based cleansers, and please try to go for an oil-based cleanser.
If you're really struggling to get your little one's eczema under control, when do you go and see a healthcare practitioner, and who are you best to see?
If sleep has been disrupted as a result of the eczema, then I think it's really important to seek some help, and that could start with your GP or your dermatologist.
Alice, thank you so much for talking all about eczema. I learnt so much. It's so great to know how to treat our entire family if they're suffering from eczema.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies.